In this video I'll be taking a look at this popular 12 litre low energy dehumidifier manufactured by Meaco. The real selling points of this compressor based dehumidifier is the very low power consumption, simplicity and portability, but we'll take a look at that a bit more later on. And I'll also make the user manual available via links on my website just in case you want to take a sneaky peek. Okay, let's have a look at the top control panel and I'll rattle through the features as quickly as I can. Looking from the top, you will find these settings: the on-off button, the up and down toggles for setting the target humidity, timer function or engaging the child lock, the timer function for setting anywhere between 1 and 24 hours of running time, a defrost cycle indicator LED, the humidity readout display, the droplet indicator light which shows when the dehumidifier is dehumidifying, and a full water tank indicator LED. As dehumidifiers go, it's quite pleasant to look at. It has nice smooth rounded sides, a strong folding compact handle and no sharp edges or sticky outy things for children to fall on or for you to bash your shins on. In size terms it's really very compact, being only 48.5 centimeters high, 32.5 centimeters wide and 24.8 deep. So you'll find it will fit out of the way and be relatively nice to look at in a whole host of places around the home. Although it's not exactly lightweight, it is only 9.5 kilograms. So it's not exactly going to blow over, but it's still very portable should you need to move it around. Now let's talk about economy, otherwise known as running costs. Stated by the manufacturer as only 165 watts, it has to be one of the most economical dehumidifiers for its size and capacity on the market. Economy though with dehumidifiers isn't always as black as white as power consumption only, but taken at face value it certainly is quite impressive. As far as noise levels go, at only 44 decibels, it may not be the quietest dehumidifier available, but it's comparable to similar models. And that basically means as long as you're not sat right next to it, it's not a real problem. And unfortunately, as of yet, you cannot get an effective dehumidifier that is truly silent. The noise is continuous though, and without any strange noises or pitch changes. So unless you're very sensitive to noise, you should find you soon get used to it and hardly notice it. Have a listen. From an all-important moisture extraction standpoint, this dehumidifier is rated at a maximum of 12 litres a day in the ideal conditions of 30 degrees centigrade and 80% relative humidity, and 6.2 litres per day at 26.7 degrees C and a relative humidity of 60%. The built-in humidistat does offer a very comprehensive level of control, and you can manually set that anywhere from 30 to 80% relative humidity in 5 degree steps. So once the desired level of humidity is achieved, the unit switches itself on and off to maintain it, and of course save money. If you want to, you can set the inbuilt timer to switch the unit off after a set period of time, and this can be anywhere from 1 to 24 hours. Strangely though, the instructions on how to do this seem to be missing from the instruction manual, but in case you want to know, this is how it's done. The child lock is another nice feature, and this is also simple to switch on and off just by pressing these two buttons together simultaneously. This size of dehumidifier should be sufficient for most small 2 to 3 bedroom households like mine, with the 2.5 litre water collection tank needing emptying probably twice per day under normal operating conditions. If needed, a continuous drain function is available with the connector hidden behind this tab. Simply connect up a length of hose, not supplied, and drain into a larger container or a drain. If you have a large house or a very bad condensation problem, you may want to consider the larger 2-speed 20-litre version of this dehumidifier, which is essentially its bigger, better brother. And you can find a link to that on my website if you're interested. As we briefly mentioned earlier, this is a compressor-based dehumidifier, not a desiccant type. And what that means in practical terms is that while it tends to be more economical to run than a desiccant dehumidifier, it will work best in homes that are heated to 20 degrees centigrade and above. So if you struggle to heat your home or wish to place it in a cold room, you may be better off with any of the desiccant based dehumidifiers listed on my website, as these will be far more efficient and contribute towards heating too. This dehumidifier also boasts a laundry mode for drying damp clothing if you wish, and thanks to the built-in fan and directional louvre, this also is as simple as placing the clothes horse in the directional path of the warm dry air being blown out. As you can see, if we just place this tassel scarf in front of the exhaust, you can visually see the gentle breeze it puts out. Now let's see it in action to measure the airspeed and temperature it provides. The temperature of the lounge now is around 21 degrees centigrade, as you can see on this wind speed and air temperature gauge that I'm about to use. If I just move closer to the exhaust fan, you can see that the wind speed is about 6.5 miles per hour and the air temperature is 25 degrees centigrade, which is a slight rise of 4 degrees at close range. And of course, if you want to set a time limit for drying, that is achieved in the same way as setting the timer for the standard dehumidifying mode. Wherever you have a fan like this, you normally have a filter, and this is no exception. This can be seen around the rear and is simply unclipped like this for easy cleaning. Now, while you can buy an optional HEPA filter for helping to remove pollen, dust mites, mould spores, etc., it is unfortunately not supplied with the unit. So if you do have allergies or want this feature, I'm afraid it is available to buy, but it's sold separately. Okay, enough about the features, let's put it to the test. Now, I live in a typical mid-1930s semi-detached house like this one, and I have deliberately driven the humidity up in the house to the high 60% relative humidity for the test. I will be testing in my lounge with the doors closed to give a fair test environment. This effectively seals off the test from all other household activity that may occur. The floor space for those curious is as follows. The lounge length is 10.4 meters, the width is 3.5 meters, and that gives a total area of 36.4 square meters. The test duration will be short at only 2 hours, and the dehumidifier will be set to continuous on mode, which should give the best results and bypass the built-in humidistat, and that way we'll get to see what the unit can do. Okay, if I just zoom in on the humidity meter, you can see that the room humidity currently is at about 71% relative humidity, and the room temperature is 21.7 degrees centigrade or 71 Fahrenheit. And of course the central heating is switched off. Right, let's switch the unit on. Now if I zoom into the energy meter, you can see that the power consumption is 163 or 164 watts, which is just under the manufacturer's stated figure of 165 watts. Right, that's the test underway. Let's come back in 2 hours to see the results. With 2 hours now passed, let's see how we got on. If we look at the humidity meter again, we can see that it is lowered considerably from the 71% down to 52%, and the temperature has actually dropped as well. Not because the dehumidifier has cooled the room, but because the sun is no longer out. Although it does go to show that very little heat is actually given off by compressor-based dehumidifiers. Now it's the moment of truth. Let's see what we've managed to collect. And remember, this is water pulled from the air in the relatively short space of 2 hours, in continuous on mode. We've managed to collect just over half a litre or just under a pint, depending on which way you like to view it. In summary, it's a very good small dehumidifier with extreme economy and a laundry function if you need it, and it's very simple to use. On the downside, it doesn't come with a supplied antibacterial or HEPA filter, which is a shame and a missed opportunity from the manufacturer in my opinion. Well, that wraps it up, but if you want to see my top recommendations for dehumidifiers I've worked with and tested, or want to buy one, or just read the manual before you buy, please visit the website links here or in the description bar. Well, I hope this has helped. Thanks for watching.